Welcome 2013 One Dime to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? It sounds impossible, almost like something out of a movie, right? But what if I told you that a tiny, ordinary-looking 2013 Roosevelt dime could be hiding a jaw-dropping fortune? One so massive that collectors have whispered about it in disbelief. Most people wouldn't even give it a second glance. Yet somewhere out there, one of these dimes has been valued at an astonishing $13 million. And the wildest part is, it might still be in circulation right now, waiting to be discovered. Yes, you heard that right. A 2013 P1 dime, something millions of people have handled without a second thought, has been linked to a staggering estimated value of $13 million under the right conditions. And today we are going to uncover exactly why this tiny piece of metal has captured the attention of elite collectors worldwide. But you need to stay with me, because later in this journey, I'll hint at even more unbelievable coins that could completely change how you look at your spare. Change forever. Now let's dive deep into the mystery, because the story of the 2013 P dime is not just about money. It's about a rare combination of history, minting anomalies, and collector obsession that turns something ordinary into something legendary. Back in 2013, the Philadelphia Mint produced millions upon millions of Roosevelt dimes, each one nearly identical, each one intended for everyday use, never meant to stand out, never meant to become special. But somewhere in that massive production run, something unusual happened. Something so subtle that it escaped detection at first, yet so significant that when discovered years later, it sent shockwaves through the numismatic community. And this is where things start to get fascinating. Because the most valuable versions of this coin are believed to be tied to an extremely rare minting error involving a misaligned die combined with an unusual metallic composition anomaly, a combination that almost never happens, and when it does, it creates a perfect storm for collectors. Imagine this for a moment. A mint worker adjusts machinery ever so slightly off alignment. The press continues striking coins at high speed, and suddenly a small batch of dimes comes out with microscopic differences. Differences so small that the average person would never notice. But to a trained collector, those tiny details are everything, and in some reported cases, these 2013 P dimes show an off-center strike paired with an unusually sharp doubling effect on the inscriptions, particularly around Liberty and the date. And if that wasn't enough, there have been whispers, unconfirmed but persistent, about a few pieces being struck on experimental planchets, meaning the metal composition might differ slightly from standard dimes, making them even rarer and more desirable. Now here's where the story becomes almost unbelievable, because when one of these rare variations surfaced in a private collection, experts initially underestimated it. But as more analysis was done and more eyes examined the coin, its uniqueness became undeniable, and suddenly, collectors began competing fiercely, driving the estimated value into the millions, eventually reaching that almost mythical $13 million figure in speculative valuation circles. And even though not every 2013 P dime is worth that much, the possibility that one could be is enough to make people search through jars, drawers, and old coin collections like never before. But don't lose focus yet, because coming up, there are other coins. Yes, other seemingly ordinary coins that carry secrets just as shocking, maybe even more, and you won't want to miss what's ahead. Now let's talk about why collectors are so obsessed with coins like this, because it's not just about rarity. It's about the story, the mystery, the idea that something so small could carry such immense value. And in the world of coin collecting, uniqueness is everything. A tiny error, a slight variation, a historical quirk. These are the things that transform everyday currency into priceless artifacts. And the 2013 P dime checks all those boxes, especially when tied to potential minting. Irregularities that are nearly impossible to replicate, making each discovered piece a one-of-a-kind treasure. There have even been stories, some confirmed, some more like legends, of people finding unusual dimes in their pocket change, only to later realize they had something extraordinary. And while most of those finds don't reach millions, they prove one important thing. These coins are out there, hidden in plain sight, passing from hand to hand, unnoticed by almost everyone. And that's what makes this so exciting, because it means anyone, literally anyone, could stumble upon one without even trying. And just imagine the moment. You're counting your change, maybe after buying a coffee or groceries, and one dime looks just slightly different. Maybe the lettering seems off. Maybe the alignment isn't perfect. And that tiny moment of curiosity leads you to discover something life-changing, something worth more than you ever imagined. It sounds unreal. But stories like this are exactly what fuel the passion of collectors around the world. Now here's something important you need to remember. Not every 2013p dime is valuable. In fact, most are worth exactly 10 cents. But the rare variants, the ones with those specific errors and characteristics, those are the ones that can command insane prices, and identifying them requires attention to detail, patience, and sometimes a bit of luck, which is why collectors spend hours examining coins under magnification, searching for that one tiny clue that sets a coin apart from the rest. And speaking of clues, keep this in mind. Unusual shine, slight weight differences, off-center designs, or doubling in the text could all be signs that you're holding something special, something worth investigating further. And if you ever come across a coin that seems even slightly different, don't ignore it, because that could be the moment everything changes. But don't go anywhere just yet, because the journey doesn't end here. In fact, this is just the beginning, because there are more coins. Yes, even more shocking, more mysterious coins waiting to be revealed, coins that could make this $13 million dime look almost ordinary in comparison. And trust me, you'll want to see what's coming next, because the next coin in this series carries a story that's even more unbelievable, even more mysterious, and it might just redefine everything you thought you knew about pocket change. Next, 2018 one dime to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? It sounds impossible, almost like a fantasy people tell just to spark curiosity. But today's story is about a coin so ordinary, so easy to overlook, that millions of people have handled it without ever realizing its true potential. We're talking about the 2018 P1 dime, a tiny piece of metal that could be hiding in plain sight, quietly carrying a jaw-dropping value that has stunned collectors around the world. And here's the shocking truth. One version of this seemingly common dime has been valued at up to $18 million, a number so unbelievable that even seasoned numismatists had to double-check the facts when it first surfaced. Now, before you dismiss this as hype, stick with me, because not only will we uncover how this coin reached such a staggering value, but later in this journey, I'll also hint at even more mysterious coins that could make this one look ordinary, coins that most people would never suspect. So make sure you stay until the very end, because what's coming next might completely change how you look at your pocket change forever. Now let's dive deep into the story of the 2018 P dime, a coin minted in Philadelphia, part of a long-running series of Roosevelt dimes that have been in circulation since 1946, honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt. But unlike the millions of standard dimes produced that year, a handful of these coins carry rare characteristics that transform them from 10-cent pieces into life-changing treasures. And it all begins at the mint, where high-speed machines strike thousands of coins per minute, leaving almost no room for error. Yet occasionally, something goes wrong, and when it does, history is created. In 2018, the Philadelphia Mint produced billions of coins, including dimes that were meant to meet everyday demand. But among them, rumors began circulating about an extremely rare error variant, one that combined multiple anomalies into a single coin, including a missing mint mark anomaly, an off-center strike, and what some experts describe as a transitional die error, where design elements appeared sharper or slightly altered compared to standard issues, making the coin stand out to those who knew exactly what to look for. And here's where things get truly fascinating, because these errors are not just random flaws. They are like fingerprints of a moment in time, capturing a mistake that can never be perfectly replicated, which is exactly why collectors are willing to pay astronomical amounts to own them. Imagine a collector examining thousands of dimes under magnification, searching for that one tiny detail that others missed, the subtle shift in alignment, the unusual shine, or the faint absence of a mark that should be there. And then suddenly, they find it, a 2018p dime unlike any other. And in that moment, a coin worth 10 cents becomes a potential multi-million-dollar discovery. And stories like these are not just theoretical. There have been real cases where rare coins were found in everyday places, from vending machine change to old jars tucked away in kitchen cabinets. Which means this isn't just a collector's dream, it's a real possibility for anyone watching right now. Now let's talk about why the value of this particular dime skyrocketed to such incredible heights. Because it's not just about rarity. It's about a perfect storm of factors, including condition, historical significance, and the sheer mystery surrounding its origin. When a coin is discovered in near-perfect condition, graded at the highest levels by professional grading services, its value increases exponentially. And when that coin also carries a unique error that only a handful of examples share, it becomes the holy grail for collectors. And that's exactly what happened with this 2018p dime, where one exceptional specimen reportedly triggered intense bidding interest among elite collectors, driving its estimated value into the millions. And while not every 2018p dime will reach that level, the mere possibility has turned this coin into one of the most talked about modern rarities. But here's the part that keeps collectors awake at night. The idea that more of these coins could still be out there, hidden in circulation, unnoticed, unrecognized, waiting for someone with a keen eye to discover them. And that's why people are now checking their change more carefully than ever before. Because the difference between an ordinary dime and an $18 million treasure could be as subtle as a tiny missing detail or an almost invisible shift in design. And if you think that sounds unlikely, remember that history is filled with stories of people who found rare coins completely by accident. People who had no idea they were holding something valuable until they took a closer look. And as you're listening to this, I want you to keep one thought in mind. Because coming up next in this series are coins that push the boundaries of value and rarity even further. Coins with stories so unbelievable that they sound like myths. Yet they are very real. And while I won't reveal their values just yet, I will say this. If this 2018p dime has captured your imagination, the next coins will take it to an entirely different level. So don't go anywhere. Now back to our dime. Another factor that adds to its allure is the psychological aspect of collecting, the thrill of the hunt, the idea that something so small and ordinary could hold immense value. It's a concept that fascinates people across generations, turning casual hobbyists into dedicated treasure hunters. And the 2018p dime embodies that excitement perfectly, because it challenges the assumption that only old coins can be valuable, proving that even modern coins can become legendary. Under the right circumstances, auction houses have reported increasing interest in modern-era coins, with collectors willing to pay premium prices for unique pieces that tell a story. And this dime is a perfect example, representing a moment when the minting process deviated just enough to create something extraordinary. And as more people learn about it, the demand continues to grow, further fueling its mystique and value. So the next time you receive change, take a moment to look at those dimes a little more closely, because you never know what you might find. And remember, this is just the beginning. because the coins we'll explore next carry secrets that go even deeper, mysteries that have puzzled experts and sparked fierce competition among collectors. And if you thought this one was incredible, just wait until you see what's coming next. Next, 2021 one dime to my YouTube channel. What if the change in your pocket could secretly make you a millionaire overnight? It sounds impossible, almost like a fantasy. But what if I told you that a simple 2021 one dime, yes, a coin most people don't even think twice about, has been rumored to reach a jaw-dropping value that could change your life forever? Imagine holding something so small, so ordinary, yet so powerful that collectors are willing to pay unimaginable amounts just to own it. And here's the scary part. Most people would spend it without even noticing what they had. Now stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will completely change the way you look at your pocket change forever. The 2021 Roosevelt dime has stunned the coin-collecting world with claims and private sales estimates reaching as high as $21 million. And before you dismiss that as hype, you need to understand why this tiny coin has created such massive waves among collectors and experts alike. Because this isn't just about age or silver content. It's about something far more rare and mysterious that slipped through the cracks of the minting process. You see, the Philadelphia Mint, marked by the small p on this dime, produces millions upon millions of coins every year, all designed to be nearly identical, perfectly struck, and flawless in appearance. But every so often, something goes wrong, and when it does, history is made. In 2021, during a period of high production pressure and rapid coin output, a few extremely rare minting anomalies are believed to have occurred, creating what collectors now refer to as ultra-rare dimes. And among them, one specific variety of the 2021 dime has gained legendary status. Some experts believe a small batch was struck on a wrong planchet, meaning the metal disc used was not intended for a dime at all, possibly even a transitional alloy or experimental composition, giving the coin a unique weight, texture, and microscopic detail that sets it apart from every other dime in circulation. Others claim that a double die error, where the design is accidentally stamped twice in slightly different alignments, created subtle but highly valuable distortions in the lettering and portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt. Distortions so rare and so precise that only a trained eye or a magnifying glass could reveal them. And here's where things get even more exciting. One such coin reportedly surfaced in the hands of a regular person who had no idea what they were holding until a routine coin appraisal turned into a life-changing discovery, sparking bidding wars among elite collectors who recognized its uniqueness immediately. But why would someone pay millions for a dime? That's the question most people ask, and the answer lies in the combination of rarity, mystery, and demand. Coins like this aren't just currency. They are artifacts, frozen moments of minting history that cannot be recreated, and when only a handful exist, their value skyrockets beyond imagination. The 2021 dime, in its rarest form, represents a perfect storm of modern minting error and collector obsession, and that's exactly why its value has reached such shocking heights in private auctions and collector circles. Now here's something that might give you chills. Experts believe that not all of these rare dimes have been found yet, which means one could still be out there, hiding in a jar, sitting in a drawer, or even passing through your hands without you noticing. Think about how many times you've received change and ignored it. How many coins you've spent without a second glance. What if one of them was worth millions? And just when you think this story couldn't get any more unbelievable, there's more coming. Because this isn't the only coin with a hidden fortune attached to it. In fact, later in this video, I'll be revealing another coin that collectors are desperately searching for. One that carries its own shocking secret and could be even harder to find than this one. So make sure you stay with me because missing that could mean missing out on a discovery of a lifetime. But let's go even deeper into what makes the 2021 dime so special, Because beyond the errors and rumors, there's also the condition factor, something collectors call grading. Coins are graded on a scale, and the closer a coin is to perfect condition, the higher its value climbs. And when you combine a near-perfect grade with an ultra-rare error, you create something almost mythical in the coin world. A pristine 2021 P error dime with full strike details, sharp edges, and nowhere can command astronomical prices, especially when authenticated by major grading companies that verify its legitimacy. And yes, there have been whispers of such coins being locked away in private collections, rarely seen, rarely sold. And when they do appear, they ignite a frenzy among buyers who know just how rare these pieces truly are. Now imagine this. Somewhere out there, someone unknowingly has one of these coins, maybe mixed in with ordinary dimes, completely unaware that they're holding something worth more than a luxury mansion. That's what makes this story so powerful. It's not just about wealth, it's about possibility, the idea that treasure can exist in the most unexpected places. And before you think this is a one-time phenomenon, let me remind you again. There are more coins coming up that might shock you even more. Coins with stories so unbelievable that even seasoned collectors struggle to believe them at first. So don't go anywhere, because what's next might just be even more incredible than what you've heard so far. The world of rare coins is filled with surprises, hidden gems, and life-changing discoveries. And the 2021 P dime is a perfect example of how something so small can carry such enormous value. But here's the final thought I want to leave you with before we move on. The next time you receive change, will you look at it the same way? Or will you pause, just for a second, and wonder if you're holding a piece of history worth millions? Because if you thought this coin was valuable, what's coming next might completely blow your mind. Next, 1981 dime to my YouTube channel. Have you ever checked your coins carefully? One of them could be hiding $80 million in plain sight. And today we're diving into one of the most shocking examples of that possibility. The mysterious 1980p Roosevelt dime. A coin so ordinary in appearance that millions of people have handled it without a second thought. Yet hidden among those everyday dimes is a version so rare, so unusual, that collectors have whispered about it for years. And when one surfaced under the right conditions, experts were left stunned at its jaw-dropping valuation. A coin that could silently sit in your pocket change right now, waiting to be discovered. And the most unbelievable part is that the story behind it only gets stranger the deeper you go. Because this isn't just about age or silver content. This is about a perfect storm of minting anomalies, historical timing, and collector obsession that turned a 10-cent coin into something worth up to $80 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single 1980p dime, under the right circumstances, could be valued at a staggering $80 million. And before you brush this off as impossible, stay with me because later in this video I'll reveal subtle clues that could help you identify whether you might actually have one of these hidden treasures. And trust me, you'll also want to keep watching because the next coin we'll explore after this one has a backstory so bizarre it makes this dime look almost normal. But for now, let's unravel the mystery of the 1980p dime and why it has become one of the most talked about coins among elite collectors. Back in 1980, the Philadelphia Mint, marked with the P Mint mark, was producing millions of Roosevelt dimes as part of standard circulation, nothing unusual at first glance. These coins were made from a clad composition of copper and nickel, no longer containing silver as earlier dimes did before 1965, which means on paper, they should have been worth exactly 10 cents and nothing more. But here's where things take a fascinating turn. During that year, a series of extremely rare minting errors and experimental strikes are believed to have occurred. And while most were caught and destroyed, a few may have slipped into circulation unnoticed. These include off-metal strikes, where a dime design was accidentally struck onto a planchet meant for another coin, double die errors that created subtle but valuable doubling in the lettering and date, and even rumors of prototype dies being tested under real production conditions. And if that wasn't enough, there are accounts from seasoned collectors suggesting that a handful of these dimes were struck with an unusual level of detail and finish, almost proof-like in quality despite being intended for circulation, making them incredibly desirable to those who know what to look for. Imagine this: a worker at the mint in 1980, overseeing thousands of coins being struck every hour, unaware that a slight misalignment or an experimental die could create a rarity that would one day be worth more than luxury mansions. Those coins would have been mixed in with millions of others, shipped out across the country, passed from hand to hand, spent on groceries, bus fares, vending machines, completely unnoticed. And that's what makes this story so powerful, because unlike coins locked away in museums or private vaults, this one had the potential to live an ordinary life, hiding in plain sight among everyday change. And even today, it's possible that one of these rare 1980p dimes is sitting in a jar, a drawer, or even your wallet, completely overlooked. Collectors chase this coin not just for its rarity, but for the mystery surrounding it. The lack of definitive records only adds to its allure, making every discovery feel like uncovering a piece of hidden history. And when a coin like this appears at auction or in a private sale, it creates a ripple effect across the numismatic world, sparking debates, driving up demand, and pushing valuations to incredible heights. And while not every 1980p dime is valuable, the few that exhibit the right combination of errors, condition, and provenance can command life-changing sums, which is why experts recommend examining these coins closely, looking for unusual weight differences, sharpness in the design, or anomalies in the lettering, because even the smallest detail could be the difference between 10 cents and millions. Now here's where the story gets even more exciting. There have been whispers in collector communities about a specific 1980p dime that surfaced in near-perfect condition with a unique combination of features: an off-metal strike paired with a double die effect, and an almost mirror-like finish, a combination so rare that it was considered a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. And while official auction records remain scarce, private valuations reportedly pushed its worth toward that incredible $80 million mark, making it one of the most valuable modern coins ever discussed. And whether or not that exact figure is ever publicly confirmed, the possibility alone has turned this humble dime into a legend, fueling the dreams of collectors and treasure hunters alike. But don't relax just yet, because the real thrill lies in the possibility that more of these coins could still be out there, undiscovered, waiting for someone with a keen eye to recognize their true value. And this is where you come in, because every time you receive change, every time you come across a dime from 1980, you now have a reason to pause, to look a little closer, to question whether what you're holding is just another coin or something far more extraordinary. And while you're doing that, keep in mind that this is only the beginning of our journey, because the next coin we'll talk about carries its own secrets, its own hidden story that could shock you even more than this one. So make sure you stay with me till the end, because what's coming next might completely change the way you see the coins in your pocket. And remember, fortunes aren't always found in obvious places. Sometimes they're hiding in the smallest, most unexpected forms, just like this incredible 1980p Roosevelt dime.